Imagine walking through the bustling streets of Mecca, the sun casting long shadows over the sand. Amid the clamor of traders and the hum of daily life, one name stands out, a name spoken with reverence and trust. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was known for his unparalleled honesty, a quality that earned him the title Al-Amin, meaning the trustworthy one. Even when his people rejected him and persecuted him, they still entrusted him with their most valuable possessions. This reflects the deep trust his enemies had in him. His honesty was so renowned that when he prepared to leave Mecca for Medina, he instructed his cousin Ali to stay behind for 3 days to return all the property that had been entrusted to him to their rightful owners. Ali remained in Mecca to ensure that every item was returned to their rightful owner, even if they may be an enemy of the Prophet, peace be upon him. This reputation for honesty reached beyond the borders of Mecca and was acknowledged by people from various backgrounds and religions, including the Byzantine Emperor Heraclius. When Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, first contacted Heraclius, inviting him to embrace Islam, the emperor sought to verify the claims made by the Prophet. He dispatched a brigade to gather information, and Abu Sufyan, a leading enemy at that time of the Prophet Muhammad, was brought before Heraclius to answer key questions. Heraclius, a learned ruler familiar with Judeo-Christian scriptures, began his questioning. He first asked Abu Sufyan about the Prophet's family, to which he replied that Muhammad came from a noble lineage. Heraclius pointed out that all the prophets came from noble families. He then asked whether anyone else had made similar claims to prophethood, and Abu Sufyan replied negatively, indicating that Muhammad was unique in this regard. Next, Heraclius asked if any of Muhammad's ancestors had been kings. Abu Sufyan answered no. Heraclius said that this suggested to him that Muhammad was not seeking to reclaim a lost kingdom. The emperor continued with more pointed questions. He asked whether Muhammad had ever been accused of lying before his claim to prophethood. Abu Sufyan confirmed that he had never been accused of lying. Heraclius, reflecting on this, noted, "How could a person who does not lie about others ever lie about Allah?" Heraclius then inquired whether Muhammad was followed by the noble or the weak members of his society. Abu Sufyan responded that it was mostly the weak who followed him. The emperor replied, saying that he recognized that this was characteristic of true prophets, who are often supported by the oppressed and the downtrodden. The emperor's next question was about the growth of Muhammad's followers. Abu Sufyan confirmed that the numbers were increasing. Heraclius understood this growth to be a sign of faith destined to grow, as true faith always spreads. He then asked whether anyone who had embraced Islam later abandoned the faith. Abu Sufyan replied negatively, noting that once people accepted Islam, they remained steadfast. Finally, Heraclius asked about Muhammad's character, asking if he had ever betrayed anyone. Abu Sufyan replied that he had never betrayed anyone. Heraclius recognized this as another mark of a true prophet, as betrayal was never a trait of the prophets of God. When Heraclius asked what Muhammad taught, Abu Sufyan responded, "He orders us to worship Allah alone, to speak the truth, to be chaste, and to abandon idols." These teachings resonated deeply with the emperor, who recognized that this message was consistent with the messages of the previous prophets of God. After hearing all of this, Heraclius turned to his translator and remarked, "If what you have said is true, he will soon occupy this place underneath my feet. I knew from the scriptures that a prophet would appear, but I did not expect him to be from your people. If I could reach him, I would go out of my way to meet him. If I were with him, I would certainly wash his feet." Even the emperor of the Byzantine Empire, who was well versed in religious texts and prophecies, recognized the honesty of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and acknowledged his prophethood. The truth of his mission was recognized by both his enemies and distant rulers. Prophet Muhammad's excellent character continues to be recognized in past historical accounts and continues to serve as a role model that is followed and admired by people all over the world.